All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling a part of the body that gets surprisingly little attention, but honestly, it plays an absolutely massive role in our everyday lives. Yep, we're talking about the forearms. And right out of the gate, I want to validate a super common insecurity: thin wrists. It's something that makes a whole lot of people feel self-conscious, but we're setting a totally empowering tone today. What we're going to walk through is a complete, natural, at-home guide to building real, highly functional forearm strength.
Look, having thin or weak wrists isn't just about physical weakness, right? It takes a real psychological toll. If you've ever felt held back or struggled with a stubborn jaw or, been the target of jokes in your friend group because of skinny wrists, you know exactly what I mean. It is incredibly frustrating. But we're shifting that narrative today. We need to move fast and fix this because honestly, ignoring your wrist strength is actually leaving you vulnerable.
So, here's our game plan. 1. The power of strong wrists. 2. Essential warm-up stretches. 3. Core forearm workouts. 4. Building your grip strength. And 5. Nutrition for muscle recovery. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The power of strong wrists, building confidence and safety.
We really need to understand why this matters way beyond just looking good in a t-shirt. Robust wrists are absolutely crucial for your personal safety in today's unpredictable world. The source material actually makes this fascinating comparison. Strong hands are as necessary today as the internet. Just think about that for a second. With unexpected accidents or just the realities of everyday life, you might find yourself in a situation where you literally have to rely entirely on your own physical strength to pull yourself out of trouble. Strong hands and forearms give you the ability to face problems without fear. Now, what's really interesting here is the stark contrast in how people actually try to solve this problem. A lot of people get desperate, right? They blindly buy these unverified, sketchy products and supplements off the internet. These quick fixes are unsafe, they have zero guarantees, and they can actually do some serious harm to your body. We are completely avoiding that garbage. Instead, we're focusing on a natural start. By consistently following this method, you'll start effectively strengthening those forearm muscles in just 7 days, doing it safely and doing it progressively.
All right, Section 2. Essential warm-up stretches, preventing injury.
Okay, before we even think about lifting anything heavy, we have to prep the muscles. Jumping straight into a workout cold is just a fast track to a muscle strain. Our first preparatory step to relax the wrists is the prayer pose, or namaskar. Let's walk through this together. Stand up straight, bring your palms together right in front of your chest, and slowly push your joined hands downwards toward your belly button. The absolute golden rule here: keep those palms glued together. Do not let them separate at the bottom. Hold this for 1 to 2 minutes. And listen, if this is your first time and you feel sharp pain, do not force it. Only go as low as what feels comfortable. So after a quick 30-second breather, we move to the finger-to-floor stretch. Extend your arms straight out in front of you. Open your palms and point your fingers up to the ceiling, kind of like a stop sign, and hold that for 10 to 15 seconds. Then, point your fingers down toward the floor so the tips are facing the ground and hold for another 10 to 15 seconds. Repeat the whole thing 2 to 4 times. We're detailing this because relaxing these specific muscles beforehand is exactly what prevents dangerous strains once we get into the heavy lifting.
Moving to Section 3. Core forearm workouts, building mass and resilience.
Okay, we're moving from preparation to targeted action. This right here is where the real structural changes to your arms are going to happen. But before we pick up a weight, keep this highly vivid analogy from our source in mind. A mango tree doesn't grow in a night. We have to preach patience and consistency here. The very first exercise to kick things off is the simple wrist circle. Stand straight, arms extended, make a fist, and just slowly rotate your wrists in a circle. First inwards, then outwards. You're aiming for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. Please, do not rush this and do not spin your fists around wildly. Patience is the name of the game.
And the best part, this routine is incredibly accessible. You do not need some fancy, expensive gym membership. For wrist circles, you literally need 0 equipment. For dumbbell curls, you just need a table and a dumbbell. Or honestly, grab any light household object you can get a good grip on. A heavy water bottle works. And for band flexions, just a chair and a basic resistance band you can grab online for a few bucks. The whole shebang is entirely an at-home regimen.
Let's look at the strict form required for those dumbbell curls. You place your forearm completely flat on a table, with your hand and the weight hanging just off the edge. Slowly lower the weight, then lift it back up. 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. Now, pay attention to this part. Your arm must remain completely stationary. All the focus goes straight to the wrist. And a quick word to the beginners out there. Absolutely do not use heavy weights too soon, or I guarantee you'll pull a muscle.
Now, if you're feeling weak or a bit discouraged at this stage, I want you to listen to this incredibly powerful quote from the source material. People without legs climb the Himalayas. People without hands write their own destiny. This just brilliantly illustrates that you should never, ever sit around feeling disappointed by your starting point. Use that motivation, bottle it up, and push forward to our next exercise.
Next up, we have resistance band flexions. Sit on a chair, trap one end of the band firmly under your foot, wrap the other end in your hand, and slowly pull your wrist upward against the tension. Now, the source issues a very firm warning here against ego lifting. Don't get caught up in that flashy gym motivation stuff and try to pull massive tension just to see how far you can go. Forcing too much tension is a huge risk for your wrist. Keep it slow, stick to 10 to 15 reps, and only increase the resistance when the current level becomes genuinely too easy.
Section 4. Building your grip strength, the final piece of the puzzle.
So the crucial takeaway here is that a strong grip is what actually completes the physical foundation we've been building. All that forearm mass, it means absolutely nothing if you don't have the functional grip to match it. Think about it. If your wrists are thick but your hands can't even hold a heavy object, the whole system fails. We have to train the grip equally.
Thankfully, the routine for this is incredibly easy. You just need a hand grip strengthener. Or actually, if you don't have one, a simple softball works perfectly fine. Take the tool or ball in your hand, squeeze it slowly inward, hold that tension for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then slowly release it back to the starting position. Do this for both hands, and again, I can't stress this enough, avoid using maximum force on day 1. Start with a light touch so you don't overexert your tendons.
And finally, Section 5. Nutrition for muscle recovery, fueling the growth.
Okay, we're pivoting from the gym to the kitchen for a quick reality check. You can do all the wrist curls in the world, but exercising without the right structural fuel is going to get you absolutely nowhere. It's a fact. Weak wrists often mean weak bones. Bone density is the hidden underlying factor behind wrist strength. If your bones lack density, the muscle simply has a weak foundation to attach to. This makes getting enough dietary calcium absolutely non-negotiable for this process.
You might want to grab a screenshot of this one. Here is the exact diet breakdown you need. Over on the left, we've got our calcium sources for building that bone density. Milk is obviously excellent, but if you're allergic or just don't like it, spinach, leafy greens, and dairy alternatives work perfectly. On the right, we have protein to build the actual muscle mass: yogurt, paneer, eggs, soybeans, and lentils. Oh, and if you're non-vegetarian, mutton is highlighted as a fantastic option. You absolutely need both of these columns working together if you want to see real results.
So, we've covered the warm-ups, the core exercises, the grip training, and the exact diet. Everything is laid out right here for you. So, what's stopping you from